What up, everybody? It's your boy Dave Noodles. Had a lot of fun with that DJ set. Welcome to February. January was. I'm still tired from January, but I'm looking back and I'm like, wow. If I set specific goals, I am an absolute monster. And I highly recommend the same way you watch sports and you count the end of each quarter, how many points each player has in the Super Bowl. Keep track of how you feel when you wake up a little bit later. Keep track of how you feel when you wake up a little bit earlier. Keep track of how you feel when you spend time with family. Keep track of, if you don't, how you feel. And really start reflecting on where you are, where you've been, and where you're about to go. So speaking of someone who I really only think of self-reflection, I think of this man. I got the one and only Mel the Prophet in the building. What's up, man?
What's up, brother? How are you, man? Appreciate you having me, man.
Of course,
Appreciate
man.
you having me, bro.
It was way overdue.
Nah, for real, bro. For real. I'm good with the mic?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're good.
All right. What's up, everybody tuning in? How y'all doing?
Bro, it's good to have you here, man. You've been on quite a tear when I see you following your dreams.
Word.
Maybe you could just tell us a little bit about your mission in this world right now.
My mission is to enlighten, empower everyone to self-reflect, to self-aware. You know, I feel the more we can be self-aware, the more we can, be productive in the world, and we can move further with humanity, with whatever task, whatever goal that we're in. So I believe my mission is just to go crazy, be radical, and just awaken every and anybody to self-awareness, to self-reflect, and tap into themselves.
That's amazing, bro. So when you say tap in, how did you even figure that? Like, was there like a moment that happened, or what has this been like an evolution over time? Like, maybe could you tell us when you even became aware to even do this?
I don't remember exact moment, but it was a span from, I would say, 2010 till now. And 2010, I dropped out of college, and once I dropped out of college, I went into like a crazy depression for about a year, where I just excluded myself from the world, where I literally went to my job, clocked in, did what I had to do, left, and I just remained in solitude. I didn't have, my friends would call me, my family would talk to me. I would just be rude because I was understanding something that I didn't understand. And I was just seeing things and seeing, I was just in a dark path. And, when I look at it now, at that time, I didn't see a psychiatrist, no therapist. I didn't take any medicine. I was just talking to the source, which I believe is God, and I got myself out of it. And, gradually I'm here now, and we self-reflecting.
That's amazing,
Word.
bro.
Word.
It's interesting because I think I do this a lot, but I actually never really even said the words together.
Word.
Like, I've said reflect, I've said, self and stuff, but like when we had a conversation a few months ago and we were just talking about like what's important to you, I remember you said it and I was like, damn, it like hit home right away, because there's so much going on, there's so much noise. A lot of it could be good.
Yeah.
A lot of it could be, ways to, to just relax, like to watch a show. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Word.
Nothing against putting on the game.
Exactly.
And just vibing out.
Word.
And forgetting about your problems for a few hours.
Word.
But when you told me about self-reflection, bro, I was like, yo, people need to even just bring those words into their vocabulary, because it's just important. Because I always say, bro, like, of all the people that you know in your life, you're gonna be with yourself the most.
You're with yourself 24/7. You know,
So
you're
might
with
as well
yourself 20.
be a good friend to
Exactly.
yourself,
Exactly.
and be a brother, or be a sister to yourself, because you're spending all day with yourself, and I think if we spend a lot of time with anyone, we go through our ups and downs, and I don't think you could just go through life with no down. There's just no chance.
Exactly.
No matter, even if you're given all the money in the world,
Word.
you deal with people you don't know if they're your friends, or or maybe you didn't learn how to deal with human interactions because you just got everything right away, and then when you get to a real life problem, you're a little stuck. So like,
Word.
no matter what, we go through our ups and downs. And when you told me that, bro, it just hit home.
That's dope.
And it's been part of my vocab ever since.
That's dope, bro. That's dope, man. That's love. Word, that's love, bro. That's love, man.
So I know you say love, that's love a lot. Maybe you could kind of talk about L.O.V.E. and how that came together, and where that's going.
Yeah, that came together December 22nd, 2014. I was actually I was hanging with my brother Will. It's like a mentor. We're in his office and we're celebrating a promotion he had at his job. And at the time, I was working at Ruby Tuesdays serving, and that day I made like $17 or $27,
Yeah.
and we're celebrating him, and not to put his business out there, but he got a good promotion. So I'm very happy for him, but I self-reflect. At the time I didn't know I was self-reflecting, but I asked myself, like, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? And I'm like, I don't know, like I couldn't find a job, to name. Then I asked myself what I'm good at. I'm good at love. I just, when people who haven't seen me for a very long time, they just get happy when they see me, or people need advice, they come calling me. So then I just acronym the L.O.V.E, Love Only Reigns Eternity. At the time I didn't know, and then I created like wristbands, and this was when the Baltimore riots happened. So I had the wristbands, and Baltimore riots happened, and I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan. Never been to Baltimore.
Oh, wow.
So I went out there, just just to see what was going on with the riots and see the truth behind the riots. And then ever since then, I just created a movement of love, and my whole intention was to get people to be self-aware, even though I wasn't aware that I wanted people to be self-aware, I just wanted to spread love and positivity and get people to, do the same. So yeah, it's crazy, man. So yeah, love is the brand, love is the movement that, I'm pushing and attempting to get, into the world, and subconsciously just have people tap into to their love, whatever their love is. So
It's so key, man.
yeah.
Love is actually probably one of it is like my favorite word and action and
Word.
thing. And
I'm glad you said that, man. 'Cause it's not just an emotion. It's an action. It's a feeling. It's a things. What you do.
Yep.
What you think. Word. Yeah.
So it's a quick story. Just my whole life, no one in my family ever had a tattoo,
Word.
and I kind of hit my point where I was like, you know what, I never really just got one early on, and I was like, you know what, I like to get one.
Yeah.
I was like, you never know who's going to be with you the next day. I'd rather rep them while they're here.
Word.
And I was like, you know what, it'd be cool to get like my mom's handwriting. So I asked my mom to write love on the paper a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And there was one that just stood out. I was like, yo, I'm getting that. And my whole life she's always like, David, you better not get it. I hope you never get a tattoo. Your skin. Don't do anything to it.
My mom's the same way.
And I remember I actually got the tattoo. It says love in her handwriting. And
On your chest?
on my chest.
That's
Yeah,
dope.
yeah. So to me, it was interesting because then when I brought it to her and I showed it to her, she was like, oh my God, David, that's so beautiful.
Word. Word.
And I think she really felt the love there.
Word.
And I was like, you know what? I always tell everyone, I was like, if it wasn't for her, I probably would have figured it out somehow, but I can't imagine how I would have learned how to love without my mom.
No, that's factual.
And it's made me who I am today.
That's factual.
You know, people I've impacted, I don't want to take any credit. I would give it to my mom and I would give it to God.
Facts.
Because, you know, they've done so much for me.
Factual.
And you made me think of that. And that was pretty amazing. It was a great experience. I'm actually getting one from my dad this month with his handwriting. He didn't even know.
Love as well?
It's going to be passion. He didn't even realize, but he wrote me a letter for like the holidays.
Okay.
And he wrote me a sentence, and I was thinking, you know what, it'd be really cool to get passion in my dad's handwriting, because I've learned passion from him.
Word.
And I just thought about it, and then I looked at the letter he wrote me, and passion was actually spelt. It was in the middle of the sentence, but it still had a capital P on it.
Wow.
And I was like, yo, this is...
God works, bro. God works.
I was like, I'm not even going to have him write it. I'm just going to literally take that envelope or that letter and bring it right to the person.
Fire,
I don't want to get that.
I want to see that. Word. I want to see the love one too whenever.
I got you.
That's fire.
So, you know, we're talking about life-changing moments. I know we briefly chatted about, you know, something that happened about 3 years ago.
Word.
Maybe you could kind of tell us this story, and you could tell us maybe about how your life changed, because I feel like there's always these moments in life that happen that they could be really good or really bad, but they change us in one way or another. Maybe you could kind of tell us about this story.
Word. Just to go into a little in depth, I was adopted at birth. So my biological mother, at birth, her guardian became my mother. So growing up to about 10 years old, I wasn't really aware, and I found out. But at the same time, my biological mother, she was my sister growing up.
Oh, wow.
I was calling her my sister, even though I came out of her. And
wow.
Not her mother, her guardian was my mother. You know, she raised me since birth, even though we were in the same household. So long story short, my biological mother, she was black, Italian, and Irish. And her boyfriend, husband, was black, which was my father, not my real father. I never met my real father. So, you know, gradually throughout life, I would always ask my sister, which is my biological mother, like, who's my father? You know, what is he? Da 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 da. And what I would get was he was white. You know, and my biological mother, she's black. So I'm black and white. And when I look at my guardian, she looks like me. She's black and white. So it just worked out. So my whole life, I'm going through life, I'm black and white, black and white. So 3 years ago, I get into a disagreement, argument with my sister / biological mother. Mind you, my guardian is not living at this time. Mm-hmm. My guardian mother is not living at this time.
Yeah.
So I'm 26 years old. I've been living my whole life. I'm black and white, and my life changed when she tells me my father's Mexican.
What?
Yeah. So I'm actually black and Mexican. And I'm not black and white. So it's crazy. Yeah. So it changed my life, you know, for the simple fact that I lived a lie, you know. I lived a lie. I fought for it against people, you know. People look at me like, yo, you look Spanish, you know, your hair, and, you know, the way you dance. And I'm like, nah, you know, I'm not. Like, I didn't know, you know, like, I didn't know no Spanish people in my family. I grew up, you know, all black family. So, yeah, that day, that was literally the day after, I think the Patriots beat the Falcons in the Super Bowl.
Okay. Wow.
I think that was February 5th or February 6th, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, that day it just really changed my life to the perspective of that's who I am.
Wow.
Know? Yeah. So that's crazy. And at the time, for a good couple months, I was very like internally angry. And I was, you know, dealing with you know, a female I was dealing with, and I would be emotionally and mentally and verbally, like, I would put it out on her, you know. So it was tough. It was a tough process. But, you know, now that I look at it, you know, the truth is the truth, you know, and I'm a man of truth, so it's like I'm glad I found out, you know, so I can live in that truth. So yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, you know, not to argue, but I feel like you were living your truth. I think you just were told a different truth,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, but I could feel it. But, you really rep who you are once
Yeah.
you realize who you are.
Yeah.
And that probably was like, wow.
Yeah, really, cause it's
Because
crazy.
you probably
Cause
had a lot of arguments.
bro, literally, like people like will want to fight me.
Wow.
Like, no, you're not white, you're not white. You have to be some type of Spanish. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, you know what I'm saying? Um, it's crazy because
Wow.
I have children, and my children's mother is actually 100% Mexican, and you know, being around her family is like, yo, I love this culture. I love the food, you know, the family orientated, like,
Yeah.
and then, you know, it all makes sense.
Wow.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's a crazy life.
Oh, man.
It's a crazy life.
That's something else. Wow. So, yeah. So, you have how many kids?
Two. Eden and Chanel. Yeah. My daughter's 7. My son's 4. Yeah.
That's amazing, Brian. It's just so, like, when I just think of generations and how truths are different, like, I think about, I won't put too much out there, but, like, my dad grew up in a 100% Jewish family.
Mm.
So, like, the conflict that my mom dealt with being, like, a Lutheran woman, bro, and my dad's mom, my grandma, bro, she did not play any games. She was so strict about everything.
Especially back
Bro,
then.
you would put your hand on the wall, she would, like, shoot a laser in her eye at your finger.
That's
Like,
crazy.
that's how real she was.
Word.
And, like, intimidating. And, like, it's crazy, because I think about me, and I'm like, I don't know if I can marry any religion, and I'm not going to at the rate I'm going. But I've kind of grew up very open-minded, beyond like, oh, they got to be this or they got to be that,
Word.
And I just think about now me, like my kid will be mixed,
Word.
and it's just like it's so interesting about how just the different generations bring
mixes
new things.
breeding.
It's crazy.
Word.
It's so cool.
Word. That's dope. What would your kid be mixed with?
It would be Colombian and Italian
That's dope.
and Irish and Russian, French.
They didn't finish.
Well, I'm Irish, Russian, French. But
Wow, that's dope.
So yeah,
That's a
it's like a smoothie of culture.
word. A good old smoothie. That's dope.
So
That's dope.
it's
dope.
crazy, man. And so maybe you've talked about truth, you've talked about love. I know you briefly brought up vision, but where do you see how important do you feel that vision is?
I think it's top 3, honestly. Top 3. Vision is, I believe, whatever you see with your eyes isn't real. You know, it's always something deeper. Not saying it's not real, but it's always something deeper than what you see. You know, I got a saying: "It's always vision over sight." I just think about people who were living when there was no technology. Like, what were they doing? What were they thinking? How did they think? And how did they come up with theories? And they had to visualize something from somewhere.
Yeah.
And I just think in this day and age, with the distractions and how fast things are going, and money, and we can get sidetracked from vision and not really understand vision. But that's something that that I want to stay grounded to, is my vision. And because I believe, well, my vision, I just see internal peace for the world, and just peaceful positivity, and a real live community, honestly. So I think vision is very important. Very.
That's amazing. Yeah, man. I always bring up the word vision. And what do you do when you don't have vision? Like, what would someone, if they're listening and they're like, I don't know what I want to be. I don't know where I want to go. I just want to survive, because I know a lot of kids, bro. They just want to survive.
Word.
Like they don't even know if food's coming
Word.
today, or like what kind, or if it's gonna be split 8 ways and stuff.
Word.
So like, what do you tell someone like that maybe has it tough and like with vision?
I think that's where you see your vision the best. Honestly, is in those times, because you dig deep. It goes back to self-reflection. Just thinking about where you're at and where you want to be,
Yeah.
and that gap in between. Not saying figure that out, but seeing some type of bridge from getting from where you are to where you want to be. 'Cause there's always hope. There's always hope. You could be at the lowest, but there's always hope. I'm just a person that has faith. I have unlimited faith, and I may die for it. Honestly, but for people who's going through stuff like that, I just tell them, don't allow your situation at the moment to have you react in your emotional state, and really attempt to vision, attempt to vision a better you, a better life, a better situation, not just for yourself, or for the people around you, the people you care about. Yeah.
That's real. My girl said something really awesome the other day. She's like, I used to let, something that was happening, I would really let it just get to me. But then I realized that thing that happened in that exact moment was a piece of a piece of a piece of a piece of time that is going to pass.
Word.
And when I thought of it in the bigger picture, it was just a moment and a lesson. And to me, I was like, I'm pretty emotional. I kind of worked up, but to me, I kind of have to talk about things to get through it and stuff. But
yeah.
I think what you said, man, just having a vision, and I think it's crazy because sometimes the times that you've had to deal with the most pain is when you've had to learn the best lessons, because you're like, oh man, well, I never want this for my kid.
Word.
Or I never want this to happen again.
Word.
Or, okay, I'm going to get this now because I don't want that to happen.
Word.
Or, I'm not going to run in the highway because there's 8 cars going 80 miles per hour. Like, maybe I'm going to wait till I don't see any cars if I have to get on the other side,
Word.
And you learn a little bit more each time.
Word.
And that's real, man. I think, I've been very fortunate to have supportive parents for my whole life, but I know there's a lot of kids out there that they don't get that. They don't have nearly as much support, and I think people like you, people like Danny Ray, people like
yourself,
I try. I think we just got to be we got to be the change we wish to see.
Exactly.
And if they meet you, even if it's a 1-hour interaction, but they get a sample. It's like, you like go to like a taste testing, and you're like, oh man, I didn't even know I liked baked ziti.
Word.
And then you try it and you're like, oh wow, I can't go back to linguine.
Word.
So I think it's good that there's this generation of people that want to change things in a good way and inspire kids to be a change. And I shout you out for putting in that work.
Thank you.
I was saying the other day, I said, people answer phone calls from phone numbers that they don't even know, and will talk to that person on the other end that's trying to sell them something that they don't want for over an hour. But they will refuse to answer their own calling because they're waiting for someone to pay them, or they're waiting for someone to book them, or they're waiting for someone to hire them. And I said, when you're calling calls, pick that up, because you're going to get paid in ways that money could never reward you with.
That's a fact.
And
That's deep, bro.
S-
That's deep. That's deep. I got that on video
That's
too.
that
Like
self-reflection.
that's a quote. That's something, man. That's deep, bro. Word. I
Right?
felt that.
Because I think about myself. Like, I've answered my calling, but I kind of went through this breaking point where I was like, you know what?
On the fence.
I'm only gonna work. I'm only gonna work when someone books me. If someone wants some advice, it is what it is. If they don't got that $80, I'm done.
Word.
And then I'm like, bro, there was just something in me. It's like, yo, man, the money, you gotta sustain. Make sure you're good.
Yeah.
Don't just do that all day and not get what you need for your family.
Yeah.
But balance yourself out. If your calling is calling, answer.
Facts.
And you're going to learn new things by doing it. And that's going to be the reward to get to the next place.
Yeah,
And,
that's a fact. My pop taught me that.
Right?
I remember, I think it was like junior year. It was like we were sitting in front of a barber shop. He was like, kindness would take you further than money can ever take you. And at the time, I'm like, get out of here. And now, 10 plus years later, and like, it's so true. So true. It's so true.
That's real, my brother.
Word.
So, you've been killing it. I'm really excited. I know you got these great events that happen every few months. Maybe you could kind of quickly drop that, and then maybe we could drop some fire for the TYPE88 universe.
Hey, I'm with that.
So maybe tell us a little bit about the Who You Are showcase.
Word. Who Are You showcase? They're actually live right now. So if you're not tuning into this, tune into them. Who Are You showcase is just a platform to give creatives a platform to expose their talent. Whether you do music, you dance, you sing, or you have a business. We have vendors at our showcases. Just creating a community and an atmosphere for creatives to expand and to network and just to have fun and not to just do it for money and things in that nature. And it all started the first one was September of 2018. Yeah,
Nice.
2018. Me and my brother Jay Style. Shout out to DJ J. And it started. I didn't even know what was going on, honestly. But prior to that, I had a little backstory. I did a little rap challenge in my city, and only one person responded. Shout out to Ramon. So I'm like, dang, I was trying to bring the city together to do like a rap challenge, competitive but positive, and my intention was to repost everybody just to get everybody just the city buzzing. It didn't work, so I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna create an event and bring everybody together. I created with DJ J, Who Are You showcase, and still the city didn't pop out the way they should have. But it was a great turnout, and everybody kept saying, oh my God, there's nothing but positive vibes. So we just kept going, and I think we're doing our 7th or 8th one. I think 7th or 8th on the 29th. Who Are You showcase? What's Your Vision edition? And just giving artists initiative to tap into who they are. Who Are You showcase? When we're performing, obviously we want to touch people and we want to do what we're doing, but just to be subconscious and be aware, like, why are we doing this, and what's your vision, like, why are you doing what you're doing, not just to gain some clout or gain some fans, like, what's your vision, what you're doing, so without being a teacher or preacher about it, but just pushing the envelope forward and building a community and
Love it.
keeping it going. Word.
That's fire, man.
Thank you, man.
We're gonna have to do another one of these.
Word.
We do have a show coming up after this, but I feel like we could have chapters of these episodes, bro, and maybe just let people know where to find you,
Word.
and then I'll throw on a surprise beat and see if you're feeling it.
Hey, okay. You can find me on IG, Twitter, Mel the Prophet, MELTHEPROPHET. Follow the platform as well. Who Are You showcase? Who _are ARE_UYOU_showcase. Spread love _3 on IG and Twitter as well. That's the brand. And we just out here, man. We out here. We've been in Staten Island a lot lately, So from Jersey
good,
from Jersey to the island, man, I'm loving this atmosphere out here, Dave. Man, I don't know what you've been doing.
It's great to have you, bro.
Word. I appreciate it.
It's been an honor collabing, and I'm really looking forward to where we go from here because we got a great vibe going.
No, fact.